So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys saw a great night of boxing. Both the Charlo brothers putting on some show. Unbelievable performance by both Charlos. Um, let's start off with Jermall. I think he's the older one, isn't he? The middleweight that beat Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now, this was gonna be this was supposed to be a very, very dangerous fight, for Derevyanchenko and a lot of people. I mean, for Charlo, and a lot of people thought Derevyanchenko might just beat Charlo. They thought that, you know what, Derevyanchenko is very experienced. He's fought at a very high level. A lot of people thought he beat Gennady Golovkin, and they thought that, Jermall would struggle against someone of that level. But Charlo was brilliant. Charlo was brilliant all the way through the fight, busting him up with a jab. He's a brilliant, brilliant fighter. He's tough as nails. He can take a punch. There was times in that fight where Derevyanchenko put it on him and he took it. He's a brilliant fighter, Jermall Charlo. First I thought, the Charlo brothers are all hype. But you know what? They can fight. I always thought they could fight, but I just didn't know whether they would live up to the hype. But actually, they are now. Because Derevyanchenko is a legit guy. You can't say now Charlo's fought no one, and because Derevyanchenko is a legit guy. Legit guy. And he kind of dominated the fight, really. He dominated the fight. So, Charlo's the truth at 160, and now I'd like to see him take that next step. I would love to see Charlo against Callum Smith. I know Callum Smith's at 168, but I think he can even move up to 168. He's a big boy, Charlo. I'd love to see him against Andrade. I'd love to see him against Canelo. I'd love to see him against Billy Joe Saunders. I'd love to see him against all of those guys. And I think he can beat all of them as well. Andrade's a brilliant fighter. Now, they're talking about Chris Eubank. For me, personally, I would like it because it's a British fight, but I don't know whether Chris Eubank's a step down from Derevyanchenko. Is Chris Eubank better than Derevyanchenko? Would Chris Eubank beat Derevyanchenko? I don't know. I can't really tell because we saw them fight Korobov, but Korobov, when he fought Eubank, got injured. He had a freak injury, so we just don't know. I want to see Charlo fight one of those guys that I named. Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, Canelo. I think he's ready for those. I think he's ready for those big fights. I think I want to see Jermall go in there with those names now. I think he should be. Jacobs is another one. Jacobs moved up to 168 as well, but he needs to get in the mix. I want to see him fight all of those guys. I want to see him fight I think the problem is a lot of those guys that I named are with DAZN, and he's with he's obviously with PBC. Al Heyman fights on Fox, so I just want to see Jermall Charlo in the mix. He's the only guy out on the PBC, Al Heyman, a top middleweight that they've got. So there's not a lot of guys he can fight. They're gonna have to start mixing it up and fighting with the guys on DAZN. They're gonna have to work it out and get the fights done because there's some nice, juicy fights that to be made there. Jermall Charlo is the truth, and he deserves big fights. Whether he feels he needs to move up to 168 or he needs to stay at 160, I reckon he could do. He's a massive guy. He's a huge guy. Like massive arms. He's thick sets, huge guy. So yeah, listen, I want to see him in there with the top boys now. Chris Eubank's alright if they want to make that fight, but I think he beats Chris Eubank quite comfortably as well. I think he beats him. I think Eubank's got good hand speed, but I think this guy's a very, very good fighter, and he's tough as well. He can take a punch and he can crack. So that's a tough fight for Eubank. I favour Charlo in that one. And like I said, Charlo against Canelo is a mouth-watering clash. It's an unbelievable fight. I just can't wait to see him in there with the top boys because I think he deserves it. I think he's a top fighter. He's a top fighter. And he looks like he's acclimatized to the middleweight division. He moved up from 154. Like I said, I think he could even move up to 168. He's that big. He's a big guy. And to be honest, I personally thought before that Andrade would outbox Charlo, but I don't know now. I don't know. Korobov gave him trouble, but Charlo hits hard, and Charlo can box, and he can take a punch. So this is by no means Andrade win. I actually think Charlo may be the favourite now after that performance. Because, Andrade's not really fought anybody. Andrade's not really been in there with top names. Andrade hasn't fought anybody at the level of Charlo, in my opinion. So that would be a massive step up for Andrade. Whereas I think Charlo's taken his step up in Derevyanchenko. Whereas I don't think Andrade's taken that step up. He was going to take up a step up against Billy Joe, but I think that fight obviously didn't happen. So yeah, hopefully Jermall can get a big fight next. In terms of the younger brother, that guy's some fighter. He's some fighter. Jermell. So the older one's Jermall, the middleweight's Jermall, and the younger one's Jermell. He destroyed Rosario. Rosario, every time Jermell caught him with any kind of shot, he was wobbling all over the place. He was getting... The fight finished with a jab to the stomach. And that guy was having a seizure on the floor to a jab to the stomach. Charlo carries some serious power. The way he knocked out Williams with that uppercut. This guy is very, very powerful, the 154-pound division. I think he's probably the best. Who's the other champion? Is it Munguia? But I swear Munguia moved up to middleweight. Who's the other champion? Because I know Charlo now holds, I believe he holds 3 belts. So who's the other champion? Is it Jaime Munguia? I don't know. It's not coming to my head right now. I know Rosario was champion. Charlo. And there's another one. Maybe you guys can enlighten me in the comment section. It's not coming to my head at the minute. Munguia was champion, but I don't know. Munguia's moved up, I think. So yeah. So Jermell, he can either become undisputed, or he can move up to 160, which I believe he will eventually do. I believe Jermell will move up to 160, which I think is adds to the depth of the middleweight division, because he'll be another great addition. And who knows, you could potentially have a Charlo takeoff. I think there's some great fights to be made at 160 for both Charlo brothers. They were both at 154, and the older brother Jermall moved up. Now Jermell is now cleaning up the 154-pound division. He had his 1L against Tony Harrison, beat him in the rematch. He's beaten Williams. And I think is Williams the other champion, actually? I think it might be Williams. Because didn't Williams beat Hurd? Right? So Williams, is it Williams the other belt holder, or did he lose after he beat Hurd? I can't remember. But if Williams is it, he's already beat Williams. So the chances are he'll beat Williams again, in my opinion. I think Williams is a good fighter, but I think his chin won't hold up against Charlo's punches. I think Charlo punches too hard, and he's too accurate, and he's very spiteful with his punches, and I think he beats him again. Charlo is a very, very good fighter. So if I'm honest with you, I don't really see Williams beating Charlo. I know Williams has said he wants that rematch and he wants to fight again, but I don't see any other outcome but a Charlo knockout again, because I don't think Charlo punches too hard, and I think when he catches Williams again, I think Williams is going to be in serious trouble. So I think Charlo's the best 154 pounder out there, and you know what, the 154 pound division is stacked, and he's probably the best out of the lot. I think he beats everybody. I do, and he has beat everybody. He's got 1L, which he avenged against Harrison, and Harrison's no mug. He's a very good fighter. So, yeah, I think both Charlo brothers lit it up last night. They did great, and now it's going to be interesting to see what their future holds. Because, like I said, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure you guys must be excited. I think these guys are going to give us some great fights moving forward. And I think Jermell is probably going to move up to 160 as well. And then we're going to have both Charlo brothers at 160. And the 160-pound division is going to have Andrade, potentially Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo. You know, these are guys are floaters. They can float around. Billy Joe Saunders said himself that I can still make middleweight. So if the right fight's there. So there's some big fights to be made. Jacobs, I'm pretty sure would he come down? Maybe these guys would go up. Because like I said, they're both of them are big guys. They could easily go from 154 to 168. They're huge, both of them. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what the future holds for the Charlos. I think they are the truth. I think they're serious fighters. I think Jermell's already a unified champion, and you know he'd probably become undisputed if the right fights materialize. And Jermall is you know just beaten a very good Sergey Derevyanchenko. So I think the future is looking bright for both Charlos, and I think we're all intrigued as boxing fans to see what goes down with those two brothers. So yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What did you make of Jermell's performance? What did you make of Jermall's performance? Were you impressed? Did you see weaknesses? Who would you like both of them to fight next? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.